Hello, my lovers. Welcome to PortiaPilaneeverything. Today, we are at United International Pictures and we're going to be interviewing some of the cast. I think on our list, we have the director, who is Angus Gibson from Bomb Production, the lead character, Richard Lunguku, who plays Bramex, and Thomas Gumede. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to PortiaPilaneeverything. Everything movies, that's the segment. And I'm sure you guys have seen just the other day, we were at the screening of the new award-winning South African feature film called Back of the Moon. And sitting right next to me is the director, Mr. Angus Gibson. Hello, sir, how are you?
Hi, Portia. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so much. With me now is the lead character, Mr. Richard Lunguku. Did I pronounce that right?
Lukunku, but it's cool. Don't worry.
All right. Right now next to me is Thomas Gumede. Hello.
No, Nyapila, Siswam. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I love the movie. I've seen it. I think as South Africans, we are heading the right direction. Just tell me a little bit about the movie.
I'd always wanted to make a gangster movie, and I always wanted to make a kind of love story. And I put both together in this film. So it kind of delivers both as a gangster film and as a love story. You know, the two central characters, Eve and Badman, are two extraordinary people. They should have been at the center of South Africa in that period. Eve is kind of a figure like Miriam Makeba, and Badman is a kind of, he should have been a Nelson Mandela kind of character. And Eve is about to go abroad and will spend the next decades away from South Africa, so South Africa's lost her. And Badman will not last the night. And circumstance in South Africa, as a black South African, have shifted him from instead being a community leader to being a gangster. And so in a sense, he too is lost to South Africa. So that it is about what we lost in those decades. And it's kind of a celebration of two complex and beautiful people.
Back of the Moon. It's a Kali movie and then I hear your voice. Kwenzakalani?
No, ngibe nenhlanhla kakhulu ukuthi most of my movie engibona vele I narrate them as well. So I don't know how come I don't do voiceovers, why bangakangiqashi kuma voiceover. So I guess it was just for films, but yeah, it was really great to be able to tell the story through a perspective Net. So yeah, it was an honor.
So it was Net's story.
It's everybody's story, but I think the best person to tell it was Net, because obviously Badman dies, we think, it seems. Yeah,
did he just give it away? Or maybe he goes to prison and comes back and grows old and die. We don't know. Can you please tell us a little bit about your character?
I play Bramex, Badman. He's the leader of the Viper gang, and on this day is supposedly supposed to be his last day in Sophiatown because of all the removals that's happening. And on this wonderful day, he meets the love of his life, or he gets to spend some time with the love of his life. And ultimately, through this experience, he decides more than ever that he's not going to leave his father's house and he's going to stay. He's not going to be removed by some cops that want to take the land. So yeah, basically that's just like a different gist to the character.
Okay, so tell us about Net.
Net is a young, ambitious musician who's in love with Eve Msomi, who's in love with two other men, and doesn't realize that her actual true love is Net, and he has to make her realize. So he's not only is he playing the piano strings, but he's also pulling the strings behind the scenes to make sure that he ends up with the girl of his dreams.
So there was a love triangle.
It was a love quadrangle.
Yay.
ngoba so four laphana bayafa laba abanye kusala mina.
Who wins?
You know, fortunately for me, I get the girl.
And you get to go to London.
And I get to go to London, you know what I'm saying? So Ned becomes the unsuspecting hero of the film, which is great because the film changes hands all the time in terms of who the central character is. But the theme of the film stays constant throughout, which is love in a time of rebellion, in a time of gangsterism, in a time of removals, you know? Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have love.
Definitely, always. It's always there. It's all we need is love.
Throughout the movie, what was the most difficult scene to act?
I think every scene for me was difficult. Because it was a very difficult character to play because he had to be still. You know what I mean? Like Angus wanted him to be still, and an actor's natural instinct when you're playing a gangster is to be rah, 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 you know what I mean? So all the rah 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 had to be internalized, and that's very. You see, I'm rah 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 in life, so I had to stop the rah 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 and be inside. The rah 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 is not a word, but you know, do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, every scene was really difficult.
What was the most difficult scene to direct or shoot?
It was all difficult because we were doing it so fast. And the things I was scared of the most was, you know, I had written these very big fights. And I thought, how on earth will we do these fights in such a short period of time? And thank God for the actors, because they kind of threw themselves into those fights. And I had watched wide-eyed from the sidelines thinking they're going to kill each other. So, you know, the fights, in fact, we sort of spent about a third of the time that I thought we would on them, partly because they just brought so much to the table. And, you know, the film was a very collaborative process. And there are scenes in the film that owe their beauty to people other than myself on the set. It was other people's ideas that really made those scenes fly. And it's a process. It's a way in which I like to work. I like to create an environment in which people do their best work, and I don't feel precious. I don't feel like it has to be my ideas.
What was the most difficult scene to shoot or to act for you?
The most difficult scene, I'd say it's there's a scene that we did where I have to walk Eva Msomi home, and I have to try and convince her without convincing her that being with these two men is not the right thing, that going to London with me is the right thing, but without being able to show her that I'm in love with her and say it and tell. So having to suppress all the feelings but hoping that the audience gets it. Like, yeah, we did that walk a couple of times, and I'd look at Angus sometimes and I'd be like, wow, how do I play more love without showing love? Oh my God. It was like, how do you do it? You know, so it's always great to have those challenges.
Are there any similarities between you, Thomas Gumete and Ned?
Me and Robert Gumete. You just said, is there any similarities between Robert Gumete and Ned? Well, look. I would say in every character you play, there are a lot of similarities that you as an actor bring to the character. I think that's what the directors look for in the casting in the first place, is that you don't have to reach too far from yourself in order to play the character. So I'd say there's a lot of similarities with Ned and myself. It's just that I don't play the piano, but I can definitely relate to the way that he zones in and focuses on what he wants.
What would you like the youth to learn from Pramex?
To always do the right thing, to take a stand in what you believe in, and to try at least make not just your life better, but the life of people that surround you better. Because in essence, that's what he was trying to do. It's just that he didn't have the tools to do it. You know what? The opportunity to do it in a different way, not the tools. He had the tools, but he didn't have the opportunity to do it in a different way, and that's what life gave him, and that's what he had to do.
And what would you like the youth to learn from Ned?
I think the youth should learn that if you want something, regardless of your obstacles, you just have to go for it. You never know what might happen. Things will sort themselves out and you can end up exactly where you wanted to be, even though you didn't start off that way.
What stands out now, the fact that you guys have actually won an award at the Durban International Film Festival. Please tell us about that.
Well, Durban's my hometown. It's also Thomas's hometown. And so it was very nice to be back there at a festival. And I suppose the question we have is, will South Africans watch this movie? Will they enjoy it? And it was the first affirmation, which was brilliant. It was people saying, we like the film. And that made us all very happy.
And congratulations, the movie has won at the Durban International Film Festivals. How do you feel about that?
Look, I love awards. I love winning them. I love being nominated. So when I saw Back of the Moon winning Best Film at Durban International Film Festival, it really was the coming together of 3 years now in the making, from when we first met with Angus to releasing the film to a public audience and winning. You know what I mean? We could have not won and I still would have been proud. But now that we've won, I'm even prouder.
So at the end, they say they never saw him or heard from him ever again. And he was holding a gun. And we saw police going in. Yeah. Can you just give us a little bit of what happened to him?
Part 2, Baba, part 2. It's coming.
Really? Okay, that's a good one.
It's going to be back of the earth. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, everybody? It's Thomas Gumete here, and I play the character of Nat in the brand new feature film called Back of the Moon, coming out in September 6th in cinemas. Please check it out, and you are watching PortiaPilaneeverything.
All right, thank you so much. You heard it from Richard Lunku.
Yo, my name is Richard Kitenge Lukunku Benzambangongo Mukuku Omonge Mensu. What's up? I'm so sorry I grabbed your mic.